Administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. And these are policies that were absolute nonsense throughout the government and the private sector.
Just days into his second term in office, President Trump announcing he's tackling DEI in the federal government and the private sector head on. And now Texas Congressman Michael Cloud and Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt are introducing a bill that would codify Trump's agenda into law. It is called the Dismantle DEI Act, would ensure that President Trump's actions are permanently enshrined into law. That means no future administrations could receive and revive DEI practices. To talk about this, pleased to have in Texas Congressman Michael Cloud, also a member of the House Oversight and Appropriations Committee. Sir, big move here in this legislation, obviously supported by people who support Donald Trump and common sense. What's the next step in it?
Yeah, what you're saying is exactly right. It's awesome to see what President Trump is doing, really the common sense agenda that is sweeping America. This, on one hand, you're excited to see it happening. On the other hand, you're like, this is just common sense. And they've been doing it quite savvily through the federal government. A lot of it's coming out this week in some of the grant writing that we've seen happening. And so it's important for us to come by as Congress and make sure that we're codifying this, as you said, to make sure that no future president can come in and put us down this dystopian path once again. And so our bill basically goes through what President Trump's done and make sure that this is not happening. We don't have these offices throughout the agencies in our federal government. But then a lot of this was being force-fed onto the American people through the grant writing or through contracting. Right. If you had a business that was doing government or doing business with the federal government, you would have to have all this operating within your business to be able to have a contract. And so that's not what this country's about. Our bill works to make sure that this never returns to our government and to the American populace.
You know, some big industries are following suit. Most recently, Google, once a leader in DEI, now ending it. But what you're doing also is sort of in tandem with, an initiative we saw day one from Attorney General Pam Bondi. She's now saying that DOJ needs to investigate DEI. We saw some of the concerns about DEI with that horrific tragedy with the mid-air collision and air traffic controllers. There was, concerns that people that were qualified were passed over because of DEI. It's something that truly has infected every branch of the federal government and private sectors.
Exactly. The thing to realize is for all the nice language surrounding diversity, equity, inclusion, it's actually discriminatory. And it works against people who are qualified to do the job. It's ironic that what we see from the Trump administration is a very diverse administration. The people he've nominated very diverse, but he got there by finding the best people who are capable and qualified to do the job. This is really what America is about, and certainly in some of these areas where safety is a big concern. We saw it in the Secret Service, where one of their biggest objectives was to promote DEI instead of securing the safety of the president. And so we've got to make sure that we are getting the best people to return the best investment for the American people and their tax-paying dollar, and make sure that we rid ourselves in this country from this divisive ideology.
You've also introduced, Congressman Cloud, a piece of legislation. It's a bipartisan bill to expose the cost of Washington spending. It's the Cost Estimates Improvement Act. And there's been a lot of focus on, slashing waste in Washington. As we know, Elon Musk has been tasked with some of that, and the left is really having a meltdown over it. Tell us about this legislation.
Yeah. Well, one of the most important things we have to do right now, and we're facing a lot of crises coming out of the Biden administration, but we've got to get our fiscal house in order. Everybody's looking to the United States to see, are we going to actually do it this time? It's upon us to make sure we get our house in order. And one of the biggest expenses that does nothing for the American people is what we pay in interest every single year. It's become one of the top things. It's exceeding our military spending, which is substantial. And so we don't even count the cost for it when it comes to of the estimates that, for example, the Congressional Budget Office does. They don't even count the cost. And so we're supposed to be looking at these things as we're weighing decisions about where the country's going to be going, and we're not even counting the cost. It'd be like going to buy a car or your house and not even looking at what that interest payment's going to cost you every single month. And so we're doing everything we can to make sure that we're bringing transparency to the process. We're looking at the real numbers. We're not playing these fuzzy DC math games, and that we restore fiscal sanity to our government and make sure that we're, again, doing what we need to be doing for the taxpayer.
Well, obviously some serious talk right now about restoring the Trump era tax cuts, and also when it comes to salt, so many things that you guys are tackling right now. No tax on tips, big issues that Americans are excited to have Donald Trump deliver on. Thank you so much, Congressman Cloud. Good to see you.
Good to see you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.